Every entrepreneur dreams of having multiple businesses, multiple income streams, multiple opportunities. But what if I told you that premature diversification actually destroys more businesses than lack of opportunity? See, businesses rarely fail because they don't have enough ideas or market share. They fail because they chase too many different ideas before mastering one. So today we're going to answer one question. How should leaders think about scaling versus diversification? And stay until the end because I'll show you a lesson from history that completely changed how I think about growth. Welcome back to the Leadership Dilemma series. My name is Bertrand Maimo and I help leaders think differently so they can build businesses, careers, and lives that last. Because lasting success isn't about chasing everything. It's built by mastering the right thing. Here's the main principle. Scale strengthens and diversification mitigates risk. See, my friends, strength without diversification creates concentration risk. And on the other hand, diversification without strength creates operational risk. But great leadership understands the difference. Scaling versus diversification. So what's the difference? Scaling simply means doing more of what already works. It's the same systems, the same customer profile, the same expertise. You're not changing the business. You're simply increasing its capacity. For example, a tutoring center operation opens a second location, or a bookkeeping and tax services firm seeks to serve more bookkeeping and tax clients. You're doing more of what already works. Diversification, on the other hand, is creating a new source of value. And that usually requires new systems, new processes, new expertise, new customers, and often a new way of thinking. For example, think of the same tutoring center, now deciding to sell children's books. Or the bookkeeping and tax firm decides to expand into consulting services. You see, both strategies have value, but timing and implementation is key. So if the difference is this simple, why then do so many intelligent leaders get it wrong? There are two main reasons leaders get this wrong. Number one, you see, knowledge isn't the problem, execution is. Most leaders know what scaling and diversification mean, but few actually stop to consider which they're pursuing. The second reason is they make scale and diversification decisions in response to a crisis. See, growth has slowed down, sales decline, competition increases, margins shrink. And instead of strengthening the business line operation to survive hard market conditions, they start another one. Now they have 2, 3 struggling business lines instead of just one. Remember that movement isn't always progress. Sometimes it's expensive activity. When you think of growth, scale should always be the priority because doing more of the same thing brings mastery, and mastery solidifies your position in the market. Diversification can bring healthy growth if it is strategically applied after thoroughly vetting the cost of diversification, which include what? The increase of cost in systems, processes, and personnel, and also includes the opportunity cost of applying those resources to scale. Diversification should only happen after these 4 considerations. Number 1, stable core business. Revenue is consistent. Customers understand your value, are willing to continuously pay for it. The operation is profitable. If the foundation is unstable, don't build another floor. Focus on the first one. Number 2, automated systems. You see, automation allows for efficient execution of your business processes. And efficiency increases capacity. Capacity first to scale, then to diversify. Number 3, strategic alignment. Is the business leveraging what it's already great at, or is it starting from zero? You see, if a firm provides bookkeeping services and tax preparation services, adding tax strategy and bookkeeping consulting services for diversification is a smooth transition. That is smoother than trying to add audit and M&A advisory services, which require completely different systems, skill sets, and customer profiles. See, healthy diversification compounds on strengths, but unhealthy diversification compounds stress. Number four, understand the real cost. How much will I need to spend in systems, people, and processes to be able to successfully diversify? And what is the opportunity cost of spending those same resources to scale? Have you considered that starting a new line of business or opening a new location dilutes focus from your original operation? And are you comfortable that the revenues gained from diversification outweigh any losses from scaling instead? See, one major lesson I've learned as a business owner and consultant. You see, business owners and leaders have great visions, access to information, and access to opportunity. The challenge is timing. Many business leaders emphasize the importance of speed when the timing is right. But speed and timing are only possible when the business is prepared for scale and diversification. The Egyptian empire was one of the richest empires in history, and it is well documented that one of their main origins of wealth was their grain bank. You see, their location next to the Nile River produced massive agricultural surpluses. So where am I going with this? Stay with me. If you look at the book of Genesis, chapter 41, you read about a pharaoh who had a dream which predicted a famine. Now, a young man called Joseph interprets these dreams, and he gave him a strategy to create a grain bank. This strategy turned seeds into investments, right? So he put Joseph in charge of Egypt, and that helped Joseph build massive wealth for Egyptian empire. So how did Joseph prepare, scale, and diversify? In preparation, Joseph built service excellence. He served first in his own house, then in Potiphar's house, served in prison, and ultimately in Pharaoh's palace with an unmatched reputation for service excellence. To scale, Joseph saved and sold grain. You see, during the years of plenty, he led Egypt to save 1/5 of all its produce. And during the years of famine, Egypt sold grain. To diversify, he created a stock exchange. He traded grain for cattle and eventually real estate. See, Joseph didn't diversify because grain stopped working. He diversified because grain had become so valuable that it created entirely new opportunities for exchange. So Joseph first built excellence in service, then he scaled excellence, and finally he diversified from a position of strength. And there goes your masterclass on growth strategy. So whatever your goal is, whether to scale or diversify, ask yourself one question. Is your business ready? Because expansion follows excellence, and every business, every career needs a strong foundation before it expands. Scale your strengths and then diversify with intention. Because organizations that last don't chase every opportunity that comes their way. They master one and then they pursue the next. And that's how you build what lasts. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you next week as we tackle our next leadership dilemma: long-term vision versus short-term execution. See you at the top.